Welcome to the Running with James podcast, where every HYROX athlete, OCR competitor, and the everyday runner has a place. We're passionate about building a community that supports, building confidence that empowers, and building champions who rise. Together, we'll push limits and chase what moves us. Remember, when you change your mind, you change your life. Now here's your host, James Wyatt.
And welcome back to another edition of Running with James, the podcast. It's good to be with you guys. Appreciate you all joining us today. Lauren, thank you for being here.
Of course.
Yes. Coach Carlos as well.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Do you feel like relaxed, ready, back from TRE, training blocks going on? Phoenix is coming up. Yeah, you guys are both doing Phoenix, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So you guys are locked, cocked, and ready to rock.
Yeah.
This was peak week. Or this
Was it?
train, yeah, for me.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was longest tempo, 25 minutes.
Nice.
Today's your death by sled workout today.
Okay.
It was definitely death.
Yeah, that one's a little tougher than I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be honest with y'all.
Is it gonna? I'm afraid to ask what the increase is gonna be. So.
It's not an increase on this, it's just the last part,
Just
wall
the
ball
wall
thing.
balls.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah. So, but I mean,
Feeling good.
Yeah.
Tracks. Feeling good on the pacing.
Yeah.
So
good. It's good to hear. So, we were kind of talking through some different things. I was very excited to be able to finally get down and dirty on the cooking ranges. We had our cook off, the pancake off this past weekend. There were people like asking me like, I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, because we didn't need to feed 70 people.
Yeah, we weren't trying to feed the whole gym and all of our podcaster audience. But if you had been here,
what do they call those things when it's seen them a while, all of a sudden people spraggly start dancing somewhere?
oh yeah,
Flash mob?
flash
It was
mob.
like a pancake flash mob.
It was.
It was
If you were here, you got some.
Yep.
If you weren't, you didn't. You also got bacon and eggs.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was a win-win.
It was.
There was no losers that day.
No losers that day. Nobody lost. So I think we came through with a good ending. Lauren's pancakes obviously were top tier because they got an 18 out of 25.
Yeah.
Right. So mine were just better. It might have been more to do with preparation, right, and being a little more relaxed because I got my run in, right. So I was a little more
In the zen
state, right. And Lauren has told me that she's no longer going to wait 15 minutes to let her batter hydrate. So we're all winning.
I mean, if she makes pancakes once a month,
Yeah.
that is 3 hours she has gained that year.
Yeah. 3 flipping hours. Think how much running you could do
that's-
that.
yeah.
Sleeping.
Sleeping.
Social mediaing. I don't know what the term would be. That wasn't right, though.
Scrolling.
Scrolling. Doom scrolling. That's a lot.
I don't need to do any more.
So if we start shaving off 15 minutes here and there on things to make you more efficient, girl, you're going to have spare time.
Yay.
She seems excited about it. She's going back to the 15-minute hydration thing.
Oh, yeah, just to spite you.
Just to spite you. That's okay.
She even laughs.
Yeah, she giggles like she basically what she just said is I lied to you earlier. I'm going to
Yes,
keep doing this,
yeah.
right? I learned nothing. So, so it's we're in it. We're having a good time. It's good to see. I love the holidays. Christmas is almost here. Can you believe that? Next week.
No.
Next week is Christmas. And then the week after that is 2026, yo.
It's over with.
Yeah.
This year's gone by.
It has. It's flown. So much has happened.
Before we know, we'll blink our eyes. We'll be on a plane to Phoenix.
Yeah, that's true.
It's end of January, but that's going to be here in no time.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I think I mentioned it the other day in the text. I was like, we're prepared for Phoenix. We hadn't even gotten to Phoenix yet, and we're already ready to go. Like, we got plane tickets.
This is like the most prepared.
I've never
trip,
been this prepared.
Like this
early.
far out.
Yeah,
Like,
we got a place to stay. We've got a car rental. Like we even know what coffee shops we're going to. It isn't. It's in freaking having Jessica as team mom.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we have a little kitchenette. I might do some cooking for you guys.
Oh.
She can come over and do some dishes. I was doing good until I added that part.
Oh, but that's all in good humor.
So I told Melanie when we were in Dallas, I'd made breakfast for everybody, and she went over to start making start doing the dishes. I was like, what are you doing?
Oh my gosh.
And
yeah.
she's like, I'm cleaning the dishes. Like, you don't have to do that. She's like, well, you cooked. You shouldn't have to do this. I was like, no, just leave them in there. She said, what? It's like, yeah, the dish fairy will take care of it. Don't worry about it. So she's like, what? It's like, yeah, the dish fairy. You just leave them in the sink, and when you come back, they'll be done. Watch. And so we all went to go take a shower, and when we came back, the sink was empty.
You know, I don't think Rose's eyes could have gone further back in her head over that.
It was empty, and I was like, look, Melanie, look, they were done. See, they're gone. Oh my God. The dish fairy came in, and I was like joking with her because Rose wasn't in there. She's like, was I not supposed to do the dishes? I was like, no, you did just fine. I was like, see, there's the dish fairy.
It's magic.
It was like magical. So, thanks to the dish fairy. We need to find a laundry fairy. Let me rephrase that. We have a laundry fairy. We need a fairy that actually finishes the job, that folds it, puts it up, hangs it up. Our laundry fairy at our house only puts it on my side of the bed.
Are you unable to put away your stuff?
I'm a busy man, Lauren.
It's
Very
sometimes
busy man.
Is the laundry fairy in your house also not a busy individual?
I don't know. I don't know what the laundry fairy's doing. I don't on her time off. I don't even see the laundry fairy doing this stuff. It's like the elf on a shelf. That thing moves when you're not looking. How can I tell you what the fairy's doing when I'm not looking at the fairy?
That's why it's called magic.
Yeah, it's magic, Lauren. This is science we're talking about. This isn't your fantasy land you're living in all the time.
Hold on, we're missing a great opportunity. Cue the fairy noise. Come on, let's. This is the perfect. If there is no better time to hear the fairy noise, now is it? There it is. Well, you missed your chance.
Oh man,
we need to have it on one of those buttons.
we do. We need the fairy. We're going to have to record it because we can load more noises on
I'm
here.
not giving y'all that power now.
No, you'll do it because you know it's fun and you're a fun person. So what are we talking about today, guys? And I know it's not freaking dish and laundry fairies.
I don't think I could survive that conversation.
Let me ask you a question, Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
So usually when there's a debate up in our circle, when we're all talking, and you feel like you're right, which is what number would you put on that? Like when we say something, and she's the contrarian, so she's obviously always gonna. If I say it, she's always gonna say the opposite of it. What percentage would you say like she feels like she's like adamantly right? If you put a number
To
on
start,
it. Yeah.
99%.
Okay. And the first thing she does is, Lauren? Google. Like, we had a little discussion before with the Patreon, and there was a question. And so she said, hold on, very adamantly. She got very passionate.
Very passionate.
And as she Googled, she found a way to, like, I don't know, finagle or shoehorn to make it fit her narrative of what her original statement was to meet what Google was responding with. Yes?
She kind of said she misworded how it was.
She did preface that, yes.
I did say I misworded, yes.
Yeah.
But
she was still right.
It was to the how it was looked at, the renaissance of the movies.
Renaissance.
A certain decade.
Yes,
Yes,
a certain
decade.
The decade.
Clarify that. So.
Renaissance. Renaissance. Of the best season, it was the worst. Or
Of the decade, it was one of the more underperforming.
underperforming. That's the word.
Underperforming was the way the Googles said it.
Yes. Okay. So we can use Google for so many things. And now, with the power of AI,
Terrifying.
now not only can we use Google to answer questions, but we can use Google to answer questions and give us advice based off of the question that we have. I used it this morning earlier. How do you handle a problem child, right? I think I put it like, how do you handle an athlete that doesn't want to listen to you or something like that? And it answered me.
Interchangeable.
Yeah, they're the same, child, athlete, same thing, yeah. And it answered me. It was amazing, the answer it gave me. It was so good. It's like it was speaking from my soul. Like it was speaking out of like the actual language I wanted to use, but I was trying to avoid using because I want to be nice. I want to be, how do they put it? Gentle James. And not grumpy Coach James that I always am, right? With my judgy eyes, my disrespectful tone. She's shaking her head, yes.
I've literally been doing this the whole time.
Exactly. So what you should be saying is, no, not you, James. I don't think you're like that, Coach James. Yet you still not responded, Lauren.
No response.
The hurt. Just
No, I don't know what the right answer is.
You have-
What was the original question?
you have wounded me deeply.
What was the
Lauren.
original question?
There was no question. I was just making statements.
You're not judgy? No, you're not. You judgy? No, never.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Looking to take your running to the next level? Whether you're just getting started or chasing the next PR, my dad, Coach James, and BC Fitness have you covered. Join our in-person or online run coaching. Plug into our free weekly run club and train alongside a community that's built different. From HYROX and OCR to daily group fitness classes at our Houston gym, this is where athletes are made. Come run with us, train with us, grow with us. Visit mybcfit.com and start building your best.
That sounds sarcastic.
Very. I'm gonna Google that and ask. Did what Lauren just say sound sarcastic and see what it responds with? So anyway, I think, and people obviously, I mean, the AI realm is here, and so people use it all the time, right? For questions, for help, for rewording things, and helping them to respond and to even make plans. I think, right? Did you use AI or Google anything for your pancakes, or was that all from your heart?
No, I mean, I did have a recipe that I was kind of basing it off of, but I didn't like read it word for word. I mean, I read it beforehand, but I didn't like go back and look at it every time. But I didn't use AI for anything.
I got it. Do you use it?
But I do use AI.
A little bit. I mean, now, we talked about earlier, you just, any sort of search bar, the first thing comes up is whatever search bar is AI, like
And the
Google
AI
AI,
answer.
or
Yeah.
the AI answer is the first thing that comes up now. It used to be whatever the top hit was for
the top
for the
source.
search,
Yeah.
or source, but now it's actually telling you, the Google.
It's an AI overview, so yeah, it's just like pulling the consensus, I guess, of all the sources.
Well, I had a call the other day actually, and they were asking about HYROX training and like what our classes and our offerings and our run club and stuff like that. And they were telling me how they had a membership. People always preface that. So I don't know if they're telling me that because they're like, hey, I'm not going to join your gym, right? I just want the HYROX stuff, or if they're just letting me know they're already in shape and that they just need a little bit of help. They don't need to get in shape. I'm not sure which one of those they're trying to let me know how the answer to, but they had told me that they had just started running, and they'd been doing the fitness class or fitness stuff or whatever. They go to the gym, all the time regularly. Great shape. They just want to prepare themselves for HYROX. I was like, that's awesome. It's perfect. And they're like, so I went on AI and I got a plan from ChatGPT, and ChatGPT gave me like a running plan. And so I just really need now to get into a place like a facility that does HYROX so I can really get the HYROX portion of it down. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, they're trying to prepare themselves. They're doing what they know to do, right? But I'm also on the flip side of like, that was your first thing was to go to AI to ask ChatGPT what a good running plan would be?
Yeah. No, but then I actually had a very similar call. Same thing. The lady did the HYROX, and she did all the training with the running through ChatGPT.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, so I kind of got into it a little bit. Not got into it, but just, hey, so what did you do? Let's break down your days of what you did. And she really kind of had like one long run day and then a couple compromise days. So it wasn't kind of really that 80-20 rule we always talk about wasn't really in the mix.
Yes.
And so she didn't feel prepared. So, now she wants a coach.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think what a lot of it, when people end up going to AI, and we've kind of talked about this before, is AI, can be an awesome tool, and it can be very, very useful I would say it can be very useful with helping create a plan. But if you do not know what information to provide it, it's going to give you the most generic thing, and it could be actually very harmful for you.
So let me ask you this question. If I was to submit to you this question, what would your answer be? Can AI coach you, or can Google coach you?
I would say the bottom line is yes, but can it coach you well without injury? Debatable.
Okay. Coach Carlos?
depending on your level of experience, I would say. Could you get a plan out of it if you know the right prompts? I would say yes.
Okay.
You're putting in the right prompts because someone training for a marathon, they put in the prompts, give me a plan for a marathon. And it told them they should be about an 18 to 20 mile long run at the end. But it's not really taking, and that's more kind of not taking into account how long that person's going to be on their feet doing that long run. If their zone 2 is a 12-minute run, they're going to be on there for 4+ hours of doing that. So that doesn't even take into account some of the plans of what your experience is. So it's kind of like what Lauren said, it could lead you to injury trying to do a super long run like that, and it's going to be your time on feet. It's just going to tear you up versus, doing a little bit shorter run.
Okay.
So,
All right. So why would you say that it could coach you or it could give you what you need?
I mean, well, when you say what you need, I don't know if it's necessarily what you need.
Give you what you're looking for.
I think if you ask it, hey, if I went to AI and said, hey, I'm doing HYROX, I want a 4-week training plan. It's going to just give you a 4-week training plan based off what it's pulling from the resources online that other people have done, and it's just going to put something together. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you, depending on where you're at. It doesn't know you. It doesn't know your weight. It doesn't know your history. It doesn't know if you're injury prone or if you have past issues you need to work around. It doesn't know where your weaknesses are, your imbalances are. And if you don't know to communicate, because it's like a person. Like when you talk to a client, you ask a lot of these questions. AI is not asking you these questions. It's just spitting out what you're immediately giving it.
Sure. So what if you gave it those prompts?
If you gave it those
What if you
prompts,
said,
then it might.
I'm a middle-aged woman that has years of experience of fitness and some running. I've ran a half marathon and a marathon. I've done HYROX for several years. I used to do obstacle course running. Help me develop a 12-week plan to run my best ever HYROX that includes strength training, HYROX specific workouts, zone 2 training, and it's going to help limit my injury. I mean, that's pretty informational.
That is pretty informational.
Do you feel like it would be able to, you think it would spit out for you a good plan?
Honestly, I really don't know the answer to that. I have not tried that. I will say that I have, out of curiosity, I have asked AI, hey, I want help creating a class, just to see what would give me. I gave it some parameters of a class design and what the class was targeted at, and asked it to help me create a class program.
Okay.
And
For just one class or a month or something or what?
I started with just one, just to see what it did. And it provided me something that kind of fit the parameters. I mean, that fit the parameters, but when the more I read over it, I was like, it was not a program that was going to be very doable for the people in my class as I see them, as I know them. And I mean that by I know what they're capable of and what some of them need to work on. So if I were to just prescribe whatever this thing's giving them, there's a lot of them that would really struggle.
Sure.
With the work,out.
I just put your prompts. Excuse me. I put your prompts in there.
Oh, you did?
I just
Okay.
did, to kind of take a look at it.
Yeah.
I put, I'm a 50-year-old man looking to do HYROX. I'm in shape. I want a 12-week plan with a zone 2 run and workouts.
Okay.
So it kind of spit it out. It kind of has weekly structure, a zone 2 run, 30 to 40 minutes, strength training. On Tuesday, Wednesday, another zone run or active recovery. Thursday, strength training. Friday, another zone 2, rest Saturday, and then another walk or hike for Sunday.
Okay.
So very generic.
That's the first week or that
No, that's kind of like the basis of it. Then it has the 12 weeks 1 through 4, base building, progressive adaptation, weeks 5 through 8, and then peak and refine. So, I mean, it does have the structure. But as far as details, I guess you'd have to look into get more. It has, sets, reps of 9 through 12. It doesn't really have HYROX movements, getting into the refinement. But it just says sets of 10 to 15, and then focus on form, squats, push-ups, rows, lunges, plank. So very generic, but good movements.
Yeah.
So in the second block, overhead presses, deadlifts, glute bridges, farmer walks. And then they looking to increase the run. So there is some, obviously some science behind it increasing, but it is still a little bit vague.
Okay. So still pretty generic.
Yeah, still generic. I guess you'd have to refine it a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, my opinion on it is that you can't be coached by Google and AI, and for multiple reasons. I think that is an example of why it would not be a wise choice, is because it is extremely generic, right? You would probably get just as generic a plan as that if you went on to like one of those apps that says get your free HYROX training plan. It probably would be about as detailed as that. In addition to that as well, AI and Google, your searches or whatever that you do on your phone, the thing about, I think the good thing about AI and about a lot of this technology is that, and a lot like your watch that you use, is it's constantly trying to learn, and it's learning from its teacher. You are its teacher. And so whatever you get put in is what you're going to get out. Right. So, there's these people all over Instagram right now that are talking about, I think there's this one lady, she's constantly talking about like Christianity and like Islam or what have you. Okay. And so she'll put like prompts into AI or Chat GPT, and it gives her these answers, and it's the answer she's trying to get. Right. Well, this other guy who is kind of on the opposite ends of the table of her, he said, well, you can't do that because Chat GPT is going off of what you put into it already. It knows who you are. It knows the prompts you've given it. Yeah. And so it's going to answer you in a way based off of who you are. So he said, watch this. And so he did the exact same thing, and it gave him a completely different answer than it gave.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to unlock your full potential? I want to introduce you to the Fit, Healthy, and Happy podcast, a powerful resource to transform your life today. With expert interviews, practical tips, and inspiring stories, this podcast is your roadmap to lasting wellness. Here's what a listener has to say.
I used to struggle with my health, but this podcast changed everything. It's like having a personal trainer, nutritionist, and life coach totally for free.
With over 2,000 five-star reviews, we're a podcast you can trust. The Fit, Healthy, and Happy podcast, available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Because of his algorithm with
because
AI.
Of his, and there's the term.
Yeah.
The algorithm, right?
Yeah. The algorithm is tailored to you and what you usually have a history with.
Well, the algorithm basically rewards extremes, and it's not like going to reward necessarily sustainability. It's going to reward the highest level of what you've put into it already. So it kind of starts learning who you are, what your tendencies are, what, I put a prompt in there a little while ago, and I was like, based off of our conversations, what I'm involved with, the things I've asked you to help me refine, what have you, like, what would be your, how did I put it? It was like, what would be your synopsis or your, what's the term I use? Because the prompt I got from someplace specific. It was a very specific prompt, but it was like, basically, what do you think of me? What would you think? Like,
how would you describe me?
How would you describe me, and what would be your honest opinion of me? And I mean, it basically gave me a summary of like, you're very involved in church. You run BC Fitness. You have a YouTube channel and a podcast, and you're obviously very passionate about helping people and getting people in shape. And then it went on, and then it was like, and then you're also too mean to Lauren, and like, you're probably less helpful and more hurtful to her than anything else, and you should probably leave her alone. And I was like, whoa, I didn't ask you that. I typed that in. I was like, where'd that come from, buddy? I was like, let's keep this about me. This isn't about Lauren. But all the stuff that it was doing was just a regurgitation, for the most part, of everything that I've put into it. And so if I put that same prompt into, like, say, whatever Lauren's is, it would be something different. So, if you've been prompting it with CrossFit workouts, and you're like, all right, now I need to do HYROX training, it's going to be skewed on the CrossFit side of things, right?
Do snatches.
Yeah, it's gonna skew to the things that you're already familiar with. And so the thing is that the advice really, number one, it lacks context. So it doesn't know your history, it doesn't know your age, it doesn't understand like your stressors and your, maybe, unless obviously you can put those prompts in, and it would probably more beneficial. But even with that, it doesn't know all of your history and background. And like Lauren said, yeah, that's one of the things a coach would do, is they would ask you those questions, they would develop a plan. But then even more so than that, you're going to get a generic plan, And as part of that generic plan, what's going to end up happening is there will be no real adaptations. So you've got 12 weeks. I never would give anybody a 12-week plan. I would give somebody a 4-week plan.
Yeah.
And throughout the 4 weeks,
You're checking in with them.
we're checking in regularly, and
Yeah.
we may adapt it as the weeks go on.
Yeah.
Whether to make it more challenging or to make it more attainable.
Yeah.
And those adaptations continue throughout each and every training block because it's going to be specified to the person, right? So like real coaching comes from recognizing patterns and be able to adapt to those types of patterns. Now, do I feel like if you were a whiz and you had the right prompts and everything, well, if you had the right prompts, then you probably are wise enough that you could just coach yourself.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. If I knew what prompts to put in to get the answers out I needed or get the answers out I wanted, well, then what do I need to put the prompts in for? Because I already know it. Right. Maybe you could use it to refine or what have you. So, I think what it comes down to is your body doesn't really respond to advice. It responds to stimulus and stress. And so once you have that specific stimulus and that specific stressor, how do you adapt to that to continue to progress? And so just using words, that to me, I think that is the biggest thing, is because all I do on a regular basis is give advice.
Yeah.
Free advice.
Yeah, you do. And I think it was interesting how you said it can't give you adaptations. And immediately I thought back to a track workout that we did. And there was like a whole training block where we didn't really progress the way, as you had discussed with us, we didn't really progress the way you originally wanted us to because people were struggling a little more with the particular workout. So we had to maybe back up. We had to repeat it a couple times. We stuck on this one particular workout for like 2 or 3 weeks for the remainder of the block, really, because there was no benefit to progressing people if they couldn't even successfully complete the workout we were currently on.
Correct.
And I think that's a big part of it in learning and recognizing when people need these adaptations. Is an AI can't do that. AI can't recognize those adaptations and talk to you about like, okay, well, how did it feel? How did you feel after or during? What was complicated or hard about it, or what was really easy about it? And it can't do that for you.
Right.
I think one thing, kind of like what you were saying, how it adapts to what you put into it. Us as coaches, sometimes it's us, and you say this all the time, is giving the athlete what they need, not what they want.
Right.
So it's not like if you're prompting, like you said, someone to CrossFit, they're going to do a lot of CrossFit workouts to train for HYROX, when in fact they should probably be doing running more.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have a tendency, if you're doing your own coaching, to do the things you're already good at.
Yeah.
Because I had some clients, the Buff Besties. When they came to me, they were already strong, and when I started working them out, it was a lot of running.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're getting to running.
Yeah.
Like, oh, and they did it. They did the zone 2 running, and they stuck with it, and they felt they progressed.
Right.
And so at the end, I was like, remember, you were kind of, oh, this running. Yes, we love it now. So that's kind of the thing. It's like you said, it's not what going to outside the box of what you're comfortable with, and sometimes without a coach, it's tough to really program that. Like,
I like the way you put that, as far as like a coach will, at least a good coach will give you what you need, not necessarily what you want.
Yeah.
And, I spend a good portion of my time as a coach talking people off a ledge, right? So it's like you're trying to encourage them to do this thing, right, that's out of their comfort zone. And so as they're doing it, maybe they're partially successful, maybe they're not successful, or maybe they don't do the prescription. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we're going to go run zone 2, no higher than zone 3 for an hour. And they come back, crushed it, coach, and there's like zone 4 for like 45 minutes. I'm like, well, you didn't really do what we said we were going to do. Yeah, but it felt easy the whole time. But that wasn't the goal. The goal was to, keep your system anaerobic. Well, this is just too hard for me to do, coach. No, you can do it, right? We need to know what easy really feels like before you can understand what hard feels like. All right, I'll keep trying, coach. And so you go through those processes over and over and over again. And, if you're not getting that feedback, that biofeedback from someone else who's willing to keep you accountable, I feel like a lot of people will continue down a path because they feel like it's what they want or what the right thing to do is, right? So, I'm thinking of somebody, a couple people right now where like, they do great. They've been getting better and faster and improving nonstop. But I've spent probably 75% of my time telling them, I need you to stop doing so much. Okay. Don't combine 2 days of runs on one day. Don't add 2 or 3 miles to your long run every Saturday. Don't, you can't do 3 workouts in one day and call that an easy day. It's supposed to be an easy day, and you're like doing all this stuff, right? And they're like, oh, but I could do more. I could do more. Well, until a point, and then eventually something's going to happen. And so, like, having someone that is brave enough, right, and knowledgeable enough to be able to like hold you accountable and tell you, hey, you can keep doing what you're doing, but if you do, it's going to lead to a problem. So you can either do it your way, or we can try it my way. Now, every time we've tried it, doing it this direction, you've been proved. But in the past, when you did it the other way, you were hurt and you didn't improve. So why don't we stick with the thing that's like actually working, right? What's actually helping you. And so if you're doing something like that online, or you're trying to use an AI system or whatever it is, you're not going to have that kind of feedback. You're not going to have that kind of accountability, because I highly doubt you're going to go back when you're done with your workout and go, all right, ChatGPT, today I did this workout. I was in zone 4 for this amount of time. Do you think I did a good job? I'd be willing to bet money. Probably say, great job in like completing your routine. Next time, maybe try to go a little, I would assume, right? If you tell it, if you give it the right prompt. So it's probably not going to say, what's wrong with you? Are you trying to get hurt?
Yeah, no, it's not going to be that,
that
tough love.
Yeah.
Woody's so curious, and I wouldn't do it before Houston. I would definitely want to do it as an experiment after. Like, do a 4-week training block, let AI just to see what it does, and try to like put all these prompts in and see, and like really compare it to like how we would coach people.
Your coach is going to get mad.
She'll get over it.
There you go.
Does she get over things easily?
Depends. Not when you confuse two
I know your
movies.
coach. I'm pretty sure.
Not when you confuse 2 movies that have no business being confused.
She's going to take it very personal.
Very personal. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm looking at for you, the athlete.
Do you think I coach myself?
Yeah.
No, I have a coach.
Do you?
I sure do.
Nice.
You know why?
Because you can always learn from other people.
That is a part of it, yes. But also, it's hard to keep yourself accountable for everything.
And
Sorry,
sometimes as well, as coaches, I probably would have never done a double threshold day or double tough day that you had me do.
Right.
That's crazy.
It's stupid.
It's ridiculous.
But
it's on there. You gave it to me. I was like, I guess I got to do it.
Yeah.
So, but it's been months now doing a tough Tuesday now, either double thresholds or workouts, then fast runs, but it has improved my fitness. Like I can do it now. It's like no big deal, but several months back I'd have been like, oh,
right.
So it is like never in a million years would I hate working out twice a day.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think but also having like the wisdom of when are you ready for that kind of thing?
Yes.
Right. So not jumping the gun just a little too soon or trying to do too much too quickly, which is what the mistake most people would make. And, if you're using AI, I think back to your point about the prompts or what have you, if you're not telling it, if you're telling it, I want to break sub hour, and I want to be super fast and do da 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 da. Well, it might prompt you a workout that like might be more attuned for like a very seasoned athlete or an elite athlete that might be too much load or intensity for you to bear rather than where it is you need to be, right? So I had a conversation with someone, and they came to me, I want to say last month, and they were like, hey, I need coaching. I'm doing the half marathon in January, and I want to get, this time or what have you. And I was like, okay, awesome. So how much mileage you running? We'll go through the whole process and everything. And they're like, so I want to run this time. I'm like, well, what did you run last time? And it's like, say 45 minutes faster than what they ran last time. Well, what's your mileage been? So we start going through the questions, and I'm like, well, I mean, we could run that time you want, I think pretty manageably, but we may not be able to do it by January because, the volume and the intensity we need to do, well, we're going to have to start here, and we don't really have time between now and the race to get up to the volume and intensity level workouts to get you those types of adaptations in your body. So it's not that you're not capable of doing it. We just may not be able to do it by January, right? We may not be able to do it in 8 weeks because we got to train, and then we got to taper, and then we got to race. So we're not giving ourselves a lot of practice time. And so if you put that same prompt into something like AI, it might give you a workout that would be toward the end of a training block like that, not understanding that this workout is going to hurt you and break you and put you in a position that's going to be probably more detrimental than beneficial to you.
Yeah, like put you right away doing 40 miles when you've been averaging 10.
Right.
So like
or doing a 25-minute tempo run.
Yeah.
Or going out and running race pace for 10 miles or something weird, right? So, I mean, we were talking about it. You know, I've got an athlete. Everybody's always talking about this person, about how fast they are and how good they are, and they're just fast and they're just this. And I'm like, well, you know, this person also runs like 80 miles a week, and they do strength training 6 days a week, but they didn't start there. They've been running. They've progressed over the last 5 years up to this place. And so they were not this fast 5 years ago. They weren't this fast 2 years ago. And so as the progression continues, well, the only way truly to get stronger or faster is progressive overload. And so you have to consistently either add volume or intensity. And usually volume, as long as it's, you know, low intensity volume, is going to give you the best bang for your buck, because intensity oftentimes will, if it's too much, get you beat up.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, the 80-20 rule.
That's it.
That's what we live by. I mean, I'm working with an athlete, and she's really in shape. And the only thing we're kind of actually doing a lot of the good things good. She's doing right. The only thing we're kind of working on right now is just shifting to that 80-20 principle. It was a little bit too much hard stuff, but we just kind of want a little bit bigger base. So it's kind of getting those, like getting your macros right.
Yeah.
You know, getting that the percentages right. And so that is a big part, and especially with HYROX, is too much people doing too much hard stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think today was a perfect example. Okay. So I think I told you, I don't think you heard me, but I was like, dude, I don't know how people go into the gym and train hard every day. Because like today, I felt pretty tired coming in this morning, and I took it easy yesterday. I rode the bike for 30 minutes or something. Plus I stretched in the morning. I did like a whole routine. So I did it was active recovery, but it was very low key.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be prepared for today, because Tuesday was pretty hard. And so, but I woke up this morning, I took a hot bath, I stretched, like I was slapping myself around, like I was trying to get ready, and I still got up in here. We did our run to kind of get warmed up and everything, and my legs just felt dead and heavy. And then we started the workout, and they never felt lively ever. They felt heavy and dead, and I felt like I was moving in mud. I was moving so slow. And so I'm thinking, I know for a fact, if I was fresh and strong, I could have done that workout faster, right? And with more intensity. I could have been faster on the erg or whatever. And so that's what fatigue does, is fatigue limits you from giving your best overall effort because you're so tired or gassed. And so you're not actually able to go hard, right? It feels like you're going hard, but you're not actually going you're not able to put the intensity level of what really hard is. So my heart rate, like I don't know if I told you, I was like, when I was pushing the sled one time, I felt like I was about to, like, I felt like I was like dying. Like I was like, I'm redlining right now. This is ridiculous. And I looked down at my heart rate, it was like 146, but it felt like it was 170.
Oh, mine was like 170.
See, so maybe you're not as fatigued as I was. So, but it felt like it was super duper high. And I think my max heart rate was like 164 or something. So it got up there for sure. Yeah. But it was such a small portion of the workout, but the whole workout felt like I was at 164. And so, like, obviously I'm fatigued, I'm tired, I was probably undernutritioned, I probably didn't have enough calories and stuff in my body as well, so that probably didn't help. So just thinking about, if you're stacking those types of hard efforts, one right after the other, well, how are you truly able to give your best effort if you're always tired? And then if you get used to feeling like that, how do you know what feeling good feels like? Like, how do you know the difference? So whatever you're I don't know how to, like, maybe Lauren, you could help me with like an example, or Carlos. Like, if you do the same thing all the time and you feel a certain way from it, how do you know if that's the right way to feel? Does that make sense?
Yeah. What I think a lot of people do that, just exactly what you said, keep stacking workouts on top of each other, and they don't. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the cycle of, they don't really know what good feels like or how to feel recovered. And they keep working out until they get injured. And then they have to take that rest. And they're like, I'm back, baby.
Yeah.
I'm back. I feel great. And then they go right back into that same cycle of they feel good because their body needed that rest.
Yeah.
And then they just hit the same workout, do the same thing over for the next 5-6 days, and then they're right back to where they're at.
Right.
Injured again.
Yeah.
So it's like a vicious cycle.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I feel like you would be challenged if you are trying to use, I'm not saying that it wouldn't be helpful as a tool, right, to get you started, but I think one of the amazing things that we have to our that's also probably semi-hurtful is we do have access to so much information.
Yeah.
And knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
But that power may not always be good power. So, do we ever ask the question, like when they made the atomic bomb, like there's all these good things you can do with splitting the atom. Energy, right? Like unending energy. But then on the flip side of it, it could like destroy humanity.
Yeah.
At
what cost?
So at what cost is the knowledge and the power going to worth the risk?
I think we talked about, someone goes on with his Google, social media. We kind of been laughing about this. We saw that post of the person wrote, can't run for HYROX,
oh, God,
do this workout.
Yes.
I didn't mean to get you all riled up.
Yeah.
And it was like this
Forgot about that one.
EMOM workout. Maybe it's a little bit of endurance, but it's not a substitute for running.
It had there was like no running at all in it. It's like, why?
It was rowing,
you're
sled
describing
push,
all the things that are not gonna
lunges.
help them.
I think it was like burpees. So it was basically HYROX stuff.
It was just like a sim, basically.
Basically, that's all it was. Without running, it was a sim without running.
But don't worry. When you get to the race, you're still gonna have to do the running.
Yeah,
It's still there.
yeah. I saw that and I was like,
That's what I mean.
I was like her when you're talking about cartoons, 90s cartoons. Yeah, I was losing my mind. I was about to freaking.
So that's kind of like the point you said. Like we as coaches, or maybe more seasoned athletes, will know and see that and almost kind of laugh a little bit about it. But someone not knowing, new into the sport, just like, okay, you know what? This is going to be my Thursday workout with, what the AI prompted me. I'm going to put that as my instead of running, I'm going to put that.
Pop that in
I'm
there.
going to pop that in instead of that run because I don't like running. I like doing those exercises.
Yeah.
And then not knowing and then coming like Lauren said, the run's still going to be there for you at the race.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, I mean, just a perfect example. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and I think it was the RHR or whatever it is, RMR, and they had like the world record holder for the skierg on there.
Okay.
And they were talking about skier efficiency and skier form and stuff like that. And I think Megan Jacoby was on there, and she was talking about like getting frustrated because as a coach, one of the hardest things to do, and what you spend a lot of your time doing, is overcoming bad information, bad knowledge. And a lot of that comes from Google searches and social media, because there's so many people out there preaching different messages about the right way to do something, or how you do something, or how you should do something. And so popularity does not necessarily always mean like good. So just because you have a huge following doesn't mean you should be following that person, or just because there's a lot of people that like a lot of the stuff they're doing doesn't mean they know what the heck they're talking about.
Yeah.
And so they were saying that, as a coach, they're constantly having to take this information and like burrow through the weeds of what's not good.
it's a fugazi.
Yeah.
Like
So like that's what I do all the time. I'll have people send me stuff. Like we'll have long conversations about zone 2 or about easy pace running, and I'll have people send me clips of people talking about don't zone 2. What are your thoughts on this? Or it'll be something like did I tell you about the one? Somebody sent me one the other day, and it's like, you're doing your runs and you're trying to stay zone 2, but you're staying easy, but you're always in zone 4. So why is it that you feel like it's an easy run, but your watch says you're in zone 4? And it says it's probably because your watch is wrong, because it's inaccurate and it's not always right, and it could have your zones off, and it uses an algorithm and the 220 minus your age, which is not a good way to find out what your maximum heart rate is. And so the best way, which was true, to go out and to go into a lab and get tested. Mm-hmm. But then, the other way is like you could do a steady state lactate threshold test to figure that out. And he said, so for me, my Garmin tells me that my zone 2 is somewhere between like 128 and 140 or something like that. He's like, but actually it's somewhere between 154 and 168.
Oh, wow.
That's his zone 2.
That's an athlete
How old
there.
is this individual?
So I'm like thinking, I'm watching this dude and I'm listening to him talk, and he's telling all these people this stuff, right? And so I'm trying to figure out, how do I respond? So I felt like I responded pretty well. And very
did you
kind.
slide into the comments?
No, I responded to like the person who sent it to me.
Oh,
One of my athletes that sent it to me.
okay.
And I was like, well, I highly doubt his zone 2 is above 150. I mean, zone 2 is not necessarily connected to your VO2 max. So even if he had a VO2 max of like 120, his max heart rate doesn't make his max heart rate 320. That's not, those two are not connected like that. Yes, the more fit you are, the more oxygen you can produce, the stronger your heart is. Yes, your max heart rate will go up, but you're not it's not going up 100 beats. It's not going up 50 beats per minute. And so, if you were a teenager, your zone 2 wouldn't be in the 150s and 160s. So the older we get, the lower our max heart rate goes. That's just biology. And so making a blanketed statement that your zone 2 is like 158, 154 to 168, you obviously don't know anything about sports physiology and biology. And so, I'm not a doctor and I don't know everything, but I know more than that.
So you basically took some truths. So the watches, the zones do get off a little bit.
They do.
It's
They
not
can not be accurate,
100% like you said, but he's kind of spun those truths, and with like you said, probably a little bit inaccurate data there.
Well, what he has done, at least based off of the very limited information I saw, right? So what he has done is what I see a lot of other people do, is they adjust their zones so that whatever they're running becomes their zone 2. So they don't have to slow down. They don't have to ease up. So what I told that person individually, I was like, listen, if you adjust to meet what you feel is easy, well, you risk running too fast and you risk being in the wrong zone and not improving. If you just slow down and don't change the zones, just slow down, run easier. You can't run too easy. If you run too easy, the only thing you risk doing is taking more time when you're out on your runs. But you're guaranteed that you're going to be running a zone 2, easy pace, zone 3, aerobic capacity run. So running too slow just means you're taking longer time. Running too fast means you're not getting aerobic benefit. So where's the risk? Is it riskier to go ahead and do some kind of arbitrary test to get your heart rate to match what you think easy is? Or is it just better just to slow down?
Slow down.
Right? Yep. So it's like you're safe one way, you're not safe the other.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine yesterday doing, I think I ran 4 miles. We ran with a little bit of a group, easy pace. Mm-hmm. I think someone said, this must be like super easy for you. I was like, easier the better.
Yeah.
I was like, because I know what I did Tuesday and I know what was coming up today.
Yes.
So I did not want to push, I was meandering with the dogs. I think it was like a 11:30, 11:40 pace. Mm-hmm. Didn't even care. It was perfect for me. So that's, like you said, going in, there's no detriment to me running slower.
Yeah. So I think it's things like that you have to, I guess, navigate through as an athlete, and that if you have a good coach, can help navigate that for you, and can help give you that information, and kind of muddle through the weeds of misinformation. Whereas, like, if you're using Google, if you're using an AI bot or something like that, a Chat GPT, it's not going to have it has the knowledge, but not the wisdom. Maybe that's a better way to put it, right? It doesn't have the wisdom. And so wisdom is being able to take knowledge from experience and understanding and implement it into action. And so AI, Google, is not going to have that subtlety and that understanding to be able to take whatever those stressors are, whatever that volume is, whatever that overload is, to basically fine-tune it for what you need rather than just a generic, this is what you want.
So it's kind of like buying a suit off the rack. Might fit, might be okay, but having that tailored suit, you're going to come out, looking fly.
It looks different.
Looking fly, tapered to your body, everything.
The comfort level's different.
You're going to be looking nice versus... you pull them off the rack, you look like you're going to your first communion wearing your brother's suit, maybe,
Your hands are like in the sleeves.
Yeah, hands in the sleeves.
Yeah, shoulders all up. You got the roll in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of a good visualization of the difference between just grabbing something off the internet or having it programmed tailored for you.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Based off, like you said, wisdom of as coaches, we see a bunch of athletes. We're getting the input of data of what kind of works, doesn't work. I mean, you do it all the time. You might implement something with a higher level athlete and see how it works, and then it might trickle down to other people.
That's to some way, yeah.
Yeah, different.
Maybe
modified a little bit, but it is tailored to that person. You did not just you didn't give me Larry's 45-minute threshold workout. There you go. Have good luck on that. What happened to Coach Carlos? He died.
Yeah,
So-
Coach died. he died last Tuesday.
Yes.
Rest in R.I.P.
RIP.
Yeah. No, I mean that's a great point. I think so. The more, which is very similar to ChatGPT and your watch and all this technology, is the greater the baseline of information, the more accurate the responses are going to be. But it's never going to have that level of real world experience of 20 years of training and coaching people. And now, are all coaches created equal? No.
I mean, you can have coaches. I mean, I feel like you've had someone come up to you before who was getting a run plan from another person, and they brought you their run plan because they were like dealing with injuries and they felt like they weren't getting better. And you looked at it and you said, this looks like it came straight from like an online source.
Yes.
Like you said, it looked like it was generated from ChatGPT because it made like no real sense in terms of progression.
Right. So, and it may not have been. It may have been from their brain.
Who knows?
And here's the deal. Like, once again, kind of in the same vein, you may not understand what is the theory going on, right? So every coach has their own theories and their own ideas of the right way to do things based off their experience and all that good stuff, training and education. So, I feel like as long as you have a good understanding of sports physiology, human biology, physiology, and you can explain it, then I think you're okay. But if there's no rationale behind it, and then you're just pulling stuff out of your backside. So if you believe in it and there's rationale to it, and you have like something to back it up, go for it. It's all good, And so that's why sometimes I'm a little more reluctant to dog things people show me because I may not know what the rationale is.
Sure.
I may not understand like their history and their background. And I mean, they're always doing new studies and new testing and experiments, and there's new knowledge always being developed, and maybe it's just something I haven't learned yet.
Yeah.
So I think the double threshold, that's a perfect example. I'm using it more and more. That came from basically from the Norwegian camp. Jakob Ingebrigtsen and his team and a lot of those Norwegians, they've been doing it for a little while now, but they would do their threshold efforts and they would stop and do blood tests to measure lactate levels, and they're basically trying to fine tune what is the pace they can maintain without having an overabundance of lactate building up in their bloodstream. And so, they found that, doing efforts in the morning and then doing it in the afternoon, they found over a period of like 4 to 6 weeks, their body became so much more efficient at processing the lactate. And what they also found was that between the hours of like 4 and 8, when they did that second effort, usually their body performed at a much higher rate. And so, that kind of is connected to some studies that have been done that basically says your body is primed for activity between the hours of 4 and 8. And so even after being semi-fatigued from an effort earlier in the day, they still performed better later in the day. So, that's an experiment that's been going on. They've tested it, they've tried it, and it works. And so, what do? Okay, I'm reading this, I'm learning this, I'm seeing how they're putting them together. And so I'm saying, okay, now my more experienced athletes that have the volume to justify it, let's try it out and let's see what happens, right? I try it on myself. Let's see what happens. Do I see adaptations? Is it manageable? Is it going to lead to injury? How is that working? We still stick within the 80-20, right?
Yeah.
And so we're still not going over the 20% hard, but we're putting those efforts together back to back in one day. And so, that's been something that I think for the few athletes that I've done it with, it's been like very good. Like it's been very helpful, I feel like. But not everybody is at a place they can handle it. They don't have the volume. They don't have the...
Sometimes you have to have the mentality.
They may not have the mental strength to be able to handle it. They also may not have the muscle and bone and tendon strength to be able to handle it either, because that's a heavy load for one day.
Yeah.
Some of them may be running 4 days a week. Well, if I put 2 runs on one day, well, that's going to be too much for them because their body just hasn't met that level yet. So it's things like that. I feel like that the more time you spend with an athlete, the more your coach is learning about you. And as long as that coach is continuing to learn themselves, then it's like a constant learning process and a constant growth process. And so I don't think you should ever be able to outgrow your coach if you have a good coach, because your coach should be constantly learning, constantly testing, constantly experimenting if you have like a really good coach. But if not, there may be a point where you're like, okay, I've learned everything I can learn from this Yahoo.
Yeah.
I got to go find another one. Hopefully not ChatGPT is not the one. So, I think that's the thing that for me, why I say you cannot be coached. You cannot truly be successful, maybe at the level you really want to be, simply by Googling it.
I agree. But like you said, a caveat of good coaching. Just like any other profession, there's good coaches and bad coaches. And you just have to kind of sift through that as well. What's their track record?
Agreed.
Excellent.
Good job, Lauren. I always like it when you agree. It makes my day.
Not being contrarian.
Appreciate it. Like I said, it makes my day. I got a text from someone earlier today. Single tear dropped down my eye. It was very kind. Kind words.
Kind words?
Very kind words. Tell me just how much they appreciated us.
Really?
And the coaching and the learning.
Awesome.
And the growth. And that's what we're in this for.
100%.
That's what we're here to do. So if you've got something out of this, if you enjoyed this, guys, please make sure you go on. You can rate us. You can also comment on us. Feel free to go to Yelp or Google for reviews, not for coaching information. You can also go to our YouTube channel and subscribe there. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you check us out on Instagram and follow us on Instagram. You may be following me, BC Coach James. You may be following Coach Lauren. You may be following Coach Carlos. You may be following My BC Fit. But if you're not following us on Instagram, please do so. We would really appreciate it. Just helps us continue to grow the brand, continue to grow the channel, so we can do things like TRE and get kind of the insights on different things as well.
On that note,
if you want to be a Patreon member, go to patreon.com/runningwithjames. We got free ones, we got cheap ones, we got not as cheap ones to get additional content and maybe even a little few surprises every now and again. And then if you want to get some sweet gear, go to mybcfit.com, hit the Get Your Gear tablet. And if you want to let us know how untrustworthy we are, but how trustworthy she is, just dip into those comments and say thumbs up.
We're all trustworthy.
We love you. We appreciate you. Remember, when you change your mind,
change your
Change
life.
your life.
Bye. Peace.